I was one of the co-founders of the Aphasia Center. In the year leading up to our opening, I was part of a steering committee that was comprised of families living with aphasia and professionals to talk about and discuss the needs of people with aphasia and how best to address them. Once we opened, I served as the clinical director. So I was responsible for all programs of the Aphasia Center, which included the Advanced Clinical Therapy Program and the Activity Center. I also served as a resource for Moss clinicians, a supervisor for graduate students, and a substitute group facilitator when needed. I ran and participated in treatment research projects and gave lots of talks and presentations locally, nationally, and internationally. During my time at the Aphasia Center, we started so many wonderful groups: the Women with Aphasia group, a Men with Aphasia group, multiple conversation groups, a computer lab, rummy game, multiple education programs, and great fundraisers. And I especially want to thank all the VOMEC volunteers and the staff that worked with me, because I could not have done this without you. Thank you very much. It was the best job I ever had.
When the Aphasia Center came into being, I served as its research director, which meant that I was effectively providing a bridge between aphasia research activities that were carried out at MRRI and at the Aphasia Center. And it was a distinct pleasure.
My current role at the MossRehab Aphasia Center is to participate in our weekly virtual variety hour and to support the Aphasia Center through collaboration with its members to increase community awareness and our growing sense of community. I was also privileged to be a part of the Aphasia Center from its very beginning. I was one of the original clinicians at the Advanced Clinical Therapy Program and facilitator for our wonderful conversation groups.
I had several roles at the Aphasia Center, ranging from speech-language pathologist for the Advanced Clinical Therapy Program, to conversation group facilitator, to talking book club leader, to computer lab speech pathologist. I also had the privilege of interacting with a wonderful group of volunteers who gave of their time and compassion every week.
That's like asking me who my favorite child is. It's almost impossible to answer. There are so many memories that I have, but what I think I'm going to talk about and what I think are the best are the memories of the people, the very courageous and smart aphasia survivors that I met and learned from. But I'm going to tell you in their own words. So the first person I'm going to tell you about is a woman who spoke at our very first gathering of people with aphasia back in November 1996. And here's what she said before we started any programs. There should be more social activities. All my friends left me but one. Most people don't know how to deal with us. We need a place where you can play cards, learn to use computers. We need more for people with aphasia. Well, we listened to her and started our programs. And then here's some words from another person with aphasia who started our very first peer-led group in, I believe it was January of 1997. It was a Women with Aphasia group. And here's what she said. Everybody comes in and I start with anything. And what do you do? And some say depression. And everyone talks about it. And then hopeful. And then get happy. An hour and a half of all people talking. Depression and tears in the eyes. And then 2 or 3 times, and she's talking, not crying. So what this woman was referring to is a new member who had just started and came in and she was crying most of the session. And then finally, she's talking and not crying. Those are the memories that will never leave me. So I have to say that watching people with aphasia and supporting each other are probably the best memories that I have.
My favorite memory goes back to the birthing of the MossRehab Aphasia Center 25 years ago, more actually, when a group of us, researchers, clinicians, families with aphasia, and hospital administrators gathered together to consider how to meet the needs of people with aphasia after the period of one-on-one speech therapy was over. It was an exciting time 25 years ago. Research was showing that there could be continued gains in language and communication function even years after the stroke event. There were new therapies on the horizon. Communication groups were showing really impressive results, and computer technology was poised to really be harnessed for intensive, personalized, individualized speech therapy, language, and augmentation. Most of all, I remember and treasure the voices of those living with aphasia who made their needs known very strongly in those early days. They wanted social activities. They wanted the ability to be together, work together, study together, play together with other people living with aphasia. Whatever else was going to happen, it needed to happen in a social group context. And that's what happened. Out of that creative stew of ideas, the Aphasia Center was birthed.
The Aphasia Center to me is special because it was born out of the hard work and self-advocacy of a group of people living with aphasia who volunteered their time and hard work to participate in research through the MossRehab Research Institute. Their lived experience of making progress through the work they did together prompted them to ask the question, why can't we have a place where we can continue to work on improving our language skills and promoting a sense of community? Through their collaboration with the researchers, clinicians, volunteer friends and family members, and the support of the Einstein community, the MossRehab Aphasia Center was created. It is a tribute to what can be accomplished through self-advocacy and collaboration.
As an avid reader, working with people with aphasia in the Talking Book Club was one of the highlights of my career. It allowed me to help those with aphasia return to the joy of reading. The center also afforded me the opportunity to work with special people such as Myrna, Ruth, and Sharon to ensure that I had the latest research and treatment principles at my fingertips to offer to my patients in whatever program they were enrolled. One of the most important features of the Aphasia Center is the ease with which patients can transfer from individual therapy to the group participation facilitated currently by Karen. It gives people with aphasia a safe haven in which to settle, practice their skills, and find friendship and camaraderie when individual one-to-one treatment is ending.
I'd like to say to the Aphasia Center, congratulations and keep up the good work. You are so important to people with aphasia and a critical part of the rehab process. Please spread the word about aphasia and the importance of these programs. And for those who are privileged enough to support us financially or who know someone who might, I'd like to thank you for your past support and ask you, please give us a nice big birthday gift this year and next year and for many years so we can sustain what we have and continue to grow. Thank you so much.
This one is short and sweet. Keep doing the wonderful work that you're doing and never stop advocating on behalf of people living with aphasia.
Congratulations, and thank you for all you have done to promote greater aphasia awareness, strengthen your own skills, and encourage and support the skills of your peers. I would also like to acknowledge how valuable participation in the Aphasia Center has been to me as well as many students that I have observed at the Aphasia Center over the years in our professional and personal growth. Thank you for all you have done and continue to do. Happy birthday and many, many more.
I wish the MossRehab Aphasia Center community a happy 25th anniversary. It is incredible how it has grown in the past years, meeting the needs of many special people along the way, and giving staff and volunteers a fine sense of purpose. Here's wishing you another 125 years and then some.